Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypherbox bringing you the latest in boxing news, and basically quickly want to touch on this. Joshua versus Pulev, it's set October 28th, Cardiff, Wales, for the IBF World Heavyweight title. Took this from Eddie Hearn's Instagram page. This picture that you see up on the screen right now, and it looks like Ortiz is just going to have to think of something else by the looks of things. Luis King Kong Ortiz, as you know, in the last couple of weeks has been trying to pressure Anthony Joshua into giving him a shot at his WBA title before Pulev. Now, you know, there was a lot of ifs and buts and, you know, a lot of things going on with this one, you know. End of the day, I know a lot of people are now giving Ortiz a lot of stick around, you know, what he was attempting, but you got to understand as well, you know, Pulev wasn't 100% sure about whether he was actually going to fight Joshua on October 28th. He did say in his on his Facebook page that he wanted 3 to 4 months to get ready for Joshua. He felt he wasn't in a best position, you know, to prepare himself for that fight. Now, I don't know whether Eddie Hearn threw a little bit more money his way, etc., whatever it was, but whatever has come out of it, you know, between Hearn and the Saundlands, they've obviously sorted it out, and the fight's on for October 28th, which means Pulev now will take on Anthony Joshua for his IBF belt. Where does that leave King Kong Ortiz? Well, you know, Ortiz has got two options. Either he waits his turn, waits till that fight's finished, and then takes on Anthony Joshua for the WBA title, or, you know, he takes the other option he's got in front of him, which is obviously the fight against Deontay Wilder on November 4th for the WBC title. Now, I haven't read anywhere or anything as of yet that the WBA is going to strip Anthony Joshua of his WBA title, which is what Team Ortiz was kind of hoping for if Joshua didn't take the fight against him. If Joshua didn't take that fight against Ortiz, that's what they were hoping for. They were hoping that the WBA would strip him, and they thought as well that they would become, you know, they would just be given that belt, basically. That the WBA belt would be just presented to them, and Ortiz would be promoted to full champion, super WBA champion. Quite clear, you know, we know it wouldn't work that way. You know, end of the day, you'd think that the WBA would do, you know, like a vacant title match, even if they did strip Joshua. You know, but Eddie Hearn made some interesting points in, you know, the last video I did touch on it a lot, where Eddie Hearn said that even if the WBA did strip Joshua, they would appeal it. That would be a really long, lengthy process, and Ortiz would be waiting forever for any kind of shot at the WBA title. But not only that, he also mentioned the Unified Champions rule, which basically means if you're a Unified Champion, you deal with your mandatory challenges in the order that they came. So basically, first come, first serve. As the IBF ordered their mandatory defense of their title a year ago, and basically, you know, Eddie Hearn asked for an exception, you know, and fought Molina. They asked for another exception, and he fought Vladimir Klitschko. So now they're out of exceptions, which basically means he has to fight Pulev now on October 28th. But because it was ordered before the WBA mandatory defense of their title, which was ordered 2 months ago, the IBF mandatory challenger has to be dealt with first, and then the WBA mandatory defense, if that makes sense. So what does that mean for Luis Ortiz? Well, Luis Ortiz can either wait till after Pulev to get his shot at Anthony Joshua, and I think Anthony Joshua beats Pulev. You know, he has to wait, which means he'll have to wait till next year, because I can't see AJ's not going to fight again before the year's up. So he's going to have to wait till next year, February, March, etc. Eddie Hearn has already said they're happy to sign that deal now, sign the contract, and even put Luis King Kong Ortiz on the undercard on October 28th against a fighter to keep him busy, to keep him warm, to keep him, you know, keep him active. So they're happy to do that, and also make sure they sign a contract and crash out a deal now that AJ will fight Ortiz next year. So there's an option there for Luis Ortiz. or he takes the other one that's been presented to him way before all of this started, all this talk of this, all these mandatory challenges, etc. and stuff like that were being talked of, against Deontay Wilder on November 4th for the WBC title. It means he'll have to give up his position as the WBA mandatory challenger. But you know, you want a title shot, there's one right. If you want a title shot right now this year, there's one for you right there and then. You know, you could take that, and which I'm guessing he will take, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be waiting around till next year, because if he beats Deontay Wilder, he goes on and he can go on and fight AJ anyway, because the WBC have said they're going to do whatever it takes to make Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Well, I'm guessing they would do the same if Ortiz was to beat Deontay Wilder. So either way, he could still get himself into a position to face AJ at some point next year. So, you know, the options are there for him. You know, let's not forget, you know, they tried to put AJ under pressure quite clearly, him and Eddie Hearn. It looks like, you know, it's look, in my other videos, you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, I did say it felt like Eddie Hearn and AJ were avoiding Ortiz. I'm not gonna lie, because the way Pulev was talking, he was saying, oh, I won't be ready for another 3 or 4 months, which is why I'm surprised the fight's happening right now. You know, whether Eddie Hearn offered Pulev more money, etc., whatever it was, the fight's happening October 28th. But he was saying, you know, just a week ago or 2 weeks ago, saying that he needs 3 or 4 months to be ready for AJ. So he wouldn't be ready by October. You know, and I said, well, if he's not going to be ready till next year, 3 or 4 months, then you might as well fight Pulev next year and just deal with Ortiz right now. But quite clearly the fight against Pulev's happening. I don't know how they worked that one, you know, because he was singing a different song a couple of weeks ago, that's for sure. I don't think anyone can deny that. So to me, it just looked, it was really weird. I just thought, well, why don't you just fight Ortiz now and then settle the IBF type, you know, challenge, mandatory challenge next year. But it's worked out, you know, it's all worked out now. So Pulev's obviously going to fight AJ on October 28th. And, you know, let's not forget, Ortiz tried to obviously push and pressure AJ and Eddie Hearn into making that fight. And if they didn't make that fight, then they were looking to push to get the WBA to strip him of his WBA title. And they even actually, Ortiz management actually believed that the WBA would just award him the belt. You know, they would just give him the WBA super title, which wouldn't have been the case. I'm pretty sure they would have made him fight for a vacant belt. You know, they wouldn't have just handed it over to him. But, you know, whatever the deal was, it hasn't worked. You know, I haven't heard anything about AJ going to be stripped about his WBA title. Not as of yet. I haven't heard any news at the moment, or I haven't seen any articles or anything like that. So it looks like a set. You know, AJ against Pulev, October 28th, Cardiff, Wales. It's going down. And Ortiz has got a decision to make. Either he waits in line patiently, or he takes that other option for the WBC title against Deontay Wilder on November 4th. And, you know, personally, if I was Ortiz, if I'm not willing to wait around till next year for a title shot, then take the one against the WBC champion Deontay Wilder, which I think he will do. I think that was a plan all from the beginning anyway. But, you know, they were trying to see if they could push AJ into a fight, get that fight, or if he couldn't fight, take his title, or, you know, get him stripped of the belt. And it's obviously backfired and it hasn't worked. You know, unless I hear in the next couple of days that the WBA are looking to strip AJ, then, you know, it's worked. But I haven't heard any stories like that, and it looks like Eddie Hearn was right about, so at this moment in time, he was right about the unified champions rule. So there you have it. Pulev, Joshua, IBF title, Cardiff, Wales. Ortiz just gonna have to wait around. That's all I got to say on this one. Until next time, this is Cyphbox reminding you to keep it real.